The storm came in faster than anyone expected. Snow pounded against the windows, and the wind howled through the trees like a warning. Inside a small cabin at the edge of a quiet Montana town, Jack Turner, an ex-Marine and single father, threw another log into the fire. He glanced at his 8-year-old daughter, Emily, who was curled up with a blanket, sketching in her notebook. Life had never been easy for Jack. Since his wife passed away 3 years ago, he'd been raising Emily alone, relying on odd jobs, grit, and the discipline he'd carried home from the service. Tonight, though, his only concern was keeping the cabin warm and making sure Emily felt safe. Then, headlights. 1 pair. Then another. Then 10 more. Bright beams cutting through the blizzard, stopping outside his driveway. Jack's instincts sharpened. He pulled back the curtain. Motorcycles. Or rather, men who belonged to them. Even through the snow, he could see the patches. Hell's Angels. Jack's heart kicked. He'd heard the stories, notorious, feared, always traveling in packs. He had no reason to hate them, but no reason to trust them either. And here they were, stomping through the snow straight toward his cabin. He opened the door before they could knock. "Can I help you?" His voice carried the firm calm of a man who'd led soldiers through worse storms than this. The leader, a big man with a beard frozen in white, nodded respectfully. "Name's Razor. We're caught in this storm. Roads are closed. Got 15 men freezing out here. Any chance you'd let us wait it out?" Jack looked at Emily. She was staring at the men wide-eyed, clutching her sketchbook. His gut told him every neighbor would slam the door, maybe even call the sheriff. But Emily whispered, "Daddy, they look cold." That decided it. Jack stepped aside. "Come in." The cabin filled with leather jackets, snow boots, and rough voices. Jack brewed coffee in batches, heated cans of soup, and passed out every blanket he had. Emily shyly offered her drawings, and to Jack's surprise, the bikers treated her like royalty, kneeling down to admire her pictures, asking her to draw their bikes, even teaching her how to make paper airplanes. By midnight, laughter bounced off the cabin walls louder than the storm outside. Jack realized something he hadn't expected: these men, feared by so many, were just people, cold, hungry, and grateful for shelter. When dawn broke, the storm had cleared. One by one, the bikers shook Jack's hand, thanked Emily, and rode off into the pale sunlight. Razor was the last to leave. He pressed a small patch, their insignia, into Jack's palm. Not everyone would have opened that door. "You ever need us, you call." Jack smiled politely, not thinking much of it. To him, it was just another night of doing what he believed was right. But the next morning, Jack woke to a sound he couldn't place. A low rumble. Growing louder. He opened the door, and froze. Lined up as far as the eye could see were motorcycles. Not 15. Not 30. But over 100. 102 bikes, chrome gleaming in the morning sun, engines thundering like a heartbeat across the valley. Razor stepped forward. "Word got around about what you did. You didn't just give us shelter, you showed us respect. That's rare in this world." Then he held out an envelope. Inside was a thick stack of bills. "For your little girl. For the home that sheltered us. We take care of our own." Jack was speechless. Emily tugged his sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, it's like we have a whole new family." Jack looked out at the sea of leather jackets and chrome, men who had once seemed like a threat but now stood as allies. His throat tightened. For a long time, he'd felt like it was just him and Emily against the world. But in that moment, he realized kindness had built a bridge, one strong enough to hold 100 bikes. That night, as the cabin glowed warm again, Jack whispered to Emily, "You were right. Sometimes the people you think are the scariest, turn out to have the biggest hearts." Emily smiled. And now we're not alone. Would you like me to now create those